Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome social media family to my vlog. The vlog that is being Lloyd Brown, and we are at episode 5. And I think I can only call this episode musical stress because I was feeling a lot of musical stress at that point. After the passing of my brethren Courtney, I felt I had no right arm. I felt like my right arm was had been cut off because I've spent a lot of time in my career trying to link up with people that was like-minded, and whilst I did, it didn't pan out too great. My first big solo break was the recording of Sharing the Night, which came about by a brethren called Junior Frost, aka the Oxygen Man, he's no longer with us. But I remembered at that point where I was in a relationship, let's just say, and I got a phone call from Junior Frost, and he basically asked me if I wanted to record, or can I record Sharing the Night. And I remembered Delroy Wilson's cut, and I thought it was Delroy Wilson that was the original writer. He said no, the Dr. Hook version, and he played the version to me down the phone, and I said yep, I'll record that. Went to Progressive Studio, Patrick Donegan's studio, went and recorded it with Matthew and Fluxy, and Don Ricardo was the engineer, and we recorded it. Song became a hit, became #1, was my first #1 single. And that basically brought me into the reggae market big time. It brought me into the fold. But there was no follow-up. Well, there was a follow-up, and it was called You Can't Hurry Love, which was the Supremes tune. And to prove that great minds think alike, Junior Chin and General Levy done a ragga version of the same tune. And it was released just before my version was released. And it flopped. The song flopped, it just didn't get heard. So I linked up with my brethren at that time, Conway Kesler, who was the guitarist for the Instigators, and together we set up a label called Love Light, and we recorded a song called Love You Down, and that song became a hit. And let's just say the relationship didn't end too good based on outside influences. So there wasn't a continuation of that. And then Groove and a Quarter came into play, and It's a Love Thing, that was written by myself and Courtney and Tipper, I think that was the first tune that I recorded with them. And I was about to go back on tour with Black Heroes, but they needed a follow-up for It's a Love Thing. And I remember Dwayne Burke of the administrators sat me down and says, well, Lloyd, what is write down let's write down a list of the things that pee women off. And I did, and stress came into play. And then Tipper came in and recorded his part. And as soon as we heard the punchline and somebody rub over Miss Saxon cassette, we knew it was going to be a hit, but we didn't know how much of a hit that was going to be. That song, remember, I went on tour with Black Heroes when the song was released. So by the time I came back from touring with Black Heroes, the song was #1 for like 6-7 weeks. And them times, Daddy Ernie, Commander B, David Rodigan was doing their charts, Natty B was doing their charts, and everyone was saying #1 for the 8th, 9th, 10th week running is Stress with Lloyd Brown and Tipper Irie. Yo, that was like, it superseded, it surpassed Sharing the Night in such a way that I can't explain it. There was soul DJs that were playing the tunes on their station. Niche soul, radio soul, let me start again. Niche soul radio DJs were playing Stress. That's how much of a hit that was. And we got headhunted by major companies. I won't bore you with the details of the back and forth, but we eventually got signed to Arista. Sadly, the deal fell through. I won't bore you with the details of that either. But that devastated me, because here was a chance for me to fulfill my long-time ambition of being a major recording artist. Because at that time you had Philip Leo and CJ Lewis, you had Chaka Demus and Pliers, you even had Shabba Ranks and Maxi Priest at that point as well. You had Shaggy. You had a lot of reggae was getting signed. Reggae was getting signed by major companies all over the world. But then for some reason it just fell flat. And then you had the rise of Oasis and the Britpop, Oasis, Blur, and you had grunge, you had Nirvana doing what they were doing. And reggae just got pushed back to a seasonal thing. Soon as summer come, whoa, 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 mysterious girl, I want to get close. That was it. That was it. And then you had some artists that kind of got into the acid scene, right? And was putting their inflections of ragga into that. And I remember songs like is it On a Dancehall Tip? Songs like that. So reggae would have a presence, but it would be diluted at that point, because the chance that we had for reggae to really rise up there, it was lost. It was lost, you know. The Shabba ting on the tube, the Buja ting didn't help, the Elephant Man ting didn't work, it didn't help, you know, so it was what it was. But for my contribution, for it to be cut short and cut down to nothing, devastated me. But then in comes Lloyd Musclehead Francis from Saxon Records. And I remember him saying to me that, Lloyd, you got a strong voice, you know, bless. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know you do Lovers Rock and thing, but you need to sing on some harder rhythms. You need to sing on some harder rhythms. You know what I mean? You know, just tough out the thing. More or less, that's what he was saying. And, you know, I, at that point, was influenced by Buju Banton's Till Shiloh album. And I wanted to make an album that encompassed the lover side of me and the root side of me. Because the root side of me never left, based upon my growing up and listening to Burning Spear and Misty in Roots and Aswad and Steel Pulse and Twinkle Brothers and all those roots group of that time and of that era that my brother contributed to, as well as listening to worldly secular music that my dad would play. It never left me, you know, Abyssinians as well, you know. There's just too many to mention. But I wanted to make an album that kind of set the balance as to where my head was. And at that point, I embraced Rastafari, same time. So there was a lot of change. There was a lot of change. And I think the first song that I recorded was Night Shift, which was a lover's tune. And then I recorded We Need a Revolution and The Power of Jah. The effect of those songs were baffling to some people, because some people didn't even know it was me singing them tunes. They didn't know it was me singing it. And the biggest accolade I could have ever got for those songs was when Jashaka played it at an all-dayer in Brighton and just tore the place up. And I thought, okay, if Jashaka's playing my tune, then I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? I'm embracing the roots thing right. But while all that was going on, my third relationship with my third child's mother wasn't working out too good. And that was a trauma that would change my life for many years to come after that. So that will come in the next video. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. And as always, you don't know the coup, whatever you do, people, please abstain from foolishness. Even if it's your own, confront it, deal with it, move it on, live on. So until we link up next time, people, stay blessed. Magan.